still watch it. I don't know where I'm going with this, but... Alright, hey guys, what's up? Codex here, and it's my pleasure to welcome you guys to, I can't believe I'm saying this, my 100th upload on this channel. It's been a while, you guys, so welcome to the anime mid-season first impressions for this seasonal block. It's for summer, and I know this is like pretty late. I've been busy wrapping up college. Actually, today was like my last full day of college instruction, so it's pretty crazy. I have like graduation coming up next month, so yeah. Maybe you guys will, I'll probably talk to you guys more about this later in like a content update or something, which I haven't done in like forever, because I've been trying to focus more on actual content for you guys. So anyway, welcome. And it's been a while since I've talked about anime, even though recently this year we did go, or you guys did experience AX with me, so thank you for all the love on that video too. That was a lot of fun to put together. So, to finally get to the point, the anime this season has actually been awfully interesting. Like, I really enjoy it when there are anime seasons or arcs where there's actually a good variety of shows. Like, it's not all just like, you know, based around maybe romance, or based around horror, or based around actions. Like, you get little bits and pieces of each thing. So at the very top of the list, we're going to start with an anime called Aho Girl. And it's really funny because in translation, Aho actually means stupid or idiot. So it's really funny. This is a very, very easygoing show. As I had mentioned before, things are about three-fourths the way through. This is actually like very, very humorous. I think honestly anyone would like the show. It's just like a bunch of people living their school lives, but the main female protagonist is actually an idiot. Doesn't matter, but it's actually just really funny. So yeah, I think if any of you guys are just looking for something very fun-filled, easygoing, not too, like, you don't have to worry about thinking about too much information, I really think it's a good idea to watch it. Next, it's really cool because, like, I know how there's like a lot of sports animes, but the next anime is called Ballroom Youkoso, which is basically a ballroom dancing anime. It's really awesome too because I haven't seen such a distinctive art style in a while. It's a bit simplistic, but you know, there's still really good shading and coloring. But besides that, seeing something more importantly just about dance has always been really cool to me. So seeing like the main character and more importantly the main female character or protagonist trying to get close to each other and try and learn and compete in international ballroom dancing competition. So it's like, think of like any other sports anime where they make it seem very epic, very precise, very like, I don't know, it's just very grand. I think that's really cool that they did something. And next, after this, it's probably my favorite anime this season. It reminds me a lot of like, Otaku. I don't know if you guys remember that show that aired about 2-3 years ago. That's when I was like Yukino and Hajimete, or 8-Man as everybody calls him. But you know, the really cold, analytical characters. So in Classroom of the Elite, they have really hard to pronounce the last names. I'm just gonna say the main characters literally mask that. Like, it's so similar, and it's like, it's very eye-opening, because it's like, wow, I really like characters that are conserved and analyze people and watch people. That sounds very creepy, but it's just like me, so, you know. The main female protagonist and the main male protagonist, like, really do work well together, because they just, like, take people apart, and they're just like, you know what, I've been watching you this whole time, and I know all this stuff about you. And they're like, what? Are you serious? And then it's just like, yeah, so if you guys really like Otaku, or Otaku Season 2, more importantly, I seriously really recommend it. And there's also like this really modern, minimalistic vibe with it, because there's like some really super high-end school. It's like it almost seems isolated. And then also there on their phones, it's crazy, because when you enroll to school, they give you a bunch of credits, and the credits are worth money. And then if you guys do watch it, you'll understand the whole consequence of overspending, becoming too like investing too much with it, and so on and so forth. So yeah, seriously, really do recommend the anime. And next is another Fate anime. I mean, the Fate franchise has existed for a very long time. I mean, when I first watched Fate Stay Night, I barely even realized how old it was. And for that matter, I didn't care, because it was so good. A different studio is doing it. A1 Studios, I believe, is doing Fate Apocrypha, which is the one I'm talking about, or Apocrypha, to be more precise. Is doing this adaptation, and it's getting a lot of respect. This, Classroom the Elite, there's about a couple of other shows that I'll mention too on this list. They're also like very, very highly rated this season, so they're doing good with this Fate adaptation. Gotta give it up for them. And also, just for some random cross-promotional thing, the Fate Grand Order mobile app is also out. That's a really fun game, if you guys do not know. If you like turn-based games, if you like those typical mobile apps where you have to get units, combine them to upgrade your characters, just check it out. Do me a favor and check it out. It's fun. I'm not sponsored, so yeah, I just think it's fun. Okay, so after that, the next show is called Gamers. Oh, I wonder what the heck that's about. Well, it's really cool though, because it starts off with a female protagonist, and she's like super in the fighting game. So I think that's like really cool. I mean, we got New Game Season 2 airing also, so I mean, all this video game stuff is actually pretty awesome. So, you know, Karen is the main name of the female protagonist, and she gets into this whole love story thing, and then it's like how I had mentioned in a couple mid-season first impressions, it's one of those things where there's so many like relational ties where it's like, okay, so you like them and they like you, but I also like this other person, and then that person also likes this person that I know, so it's like all over the place, but it's actually very good this season. So if you do like video games, and you like people talking about video games, and you like people getting into love stories about video games, I think you should check it out. So yeah, that's also very recommended this season. The next show after that is called Hajimete no Gal. Okay, so a lot of like first impressions off this show is that it's like super ecchi, and not even kidding, it is super ecchi. So it's obviously not meant for everyone, but it's like, how do I say this? It's like very provocative, but still funny, but kind of still not reasonable, but you can still watch it. I don't know where I'm going with this, but yeah, it's kind of hard to describe the level of like intensity of ecchi. That sounds really weird saying that, honestly, but yeah, it's actually pretty funny. So if you're someone who doesn't mind too over-the-top ecchi or cliche ecchi sort of scenarios, I actually think it's fine. So if not, go check it out. And after this, there's another show called A Fantasy World with a Smartphone. Who even thinks of these shows? So the title explains itself. There's a guy that gets brought into a fantasy world, and he still has his phone with him. And every other character that meets him is like, wow, man, what the heck is this piece of technology? What does this even do, dude? So then it's like, he's like, every other episode's like, so this is a camera, and this is some app I found out about, and yeah, so it's not too highly rated this season, but I just thought it was kind of quirky, so I checked it out, and it's actually not that bad. So if you guys are just into like some mild fantasy with some pretty generic humor, check it out. Yeah, after this, we have probably one of the most popular animes this season. Actually, I'm gonna look at it on my phone, see if I can actually Kakegurui. Okay, I can't pronounce it. Anyway, I think the best way to stop. Anyway, it's basically that really okay, so there's this high school, and everybody wears these red uniforms, like almost pure red, and the school is actually a gambling school. Now, you don't see those nowadays, but essentially, there's actually, is there any male protagonist in it? I think about it. Oh yeah, there is, but he's not really emphasized too much, I believe. And there is like a whole bunch of people that are super into gambling, and gambling is twisting their minds because they're so addicted into it. And there's all of these different types of scenarios. So it's very weird. It's very, I guess intense is work. There's a lot of like super detailed faces in the show, which people make memes out of, which I think is pretty appropriate for this day and age. So yeah, it's actually pretty highly rated. So if you guys are into that stuff, sorry, it seems like I didn't explain it very well, but yeah, it's actually really good. So if you're into intense gambling animes with very interesting scenarios, check it out. And next is another popular romance anime called Koi to Uso, and it's actually really cute, and it's about the whole idea of like the red string of fate. It's like, oh, these two people are so meant to be together, and then like it's just the idea of it actually being retainable. So there's a lot of really good romance anime airing this season, and I'm someone who loves romance, so it's like yay, yay, yay. And so if you guys do like that stuff, it kind of reminds me of the Ballroom anime, because the art style is very similar. Like, it's not like a ton of super detailed artwork, but the simplicity actually makes it very like pleasing to the eye and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool if you ask me. After this, we have Princess Principal. Now say that 5 times fast, but I'm not gonna do that. Now this is probably one of the most unique ones right now. The thing that's really cool is that it takes place in London, or a alternate London, or a place based off of London, or somewhere in Europe. I'm going somewhere with this, and basically where there's a school, and it's actually a school for spies, and a majority of the school, actually I think all the school, is female. What do you know? Typical anime trope where everybody's female, and they're all spies trying to learn. And there's a bunch of crimes and things that happen, so all the students and teachers all try to do something about the crimes with their knowledge of being a spy and all the technology. So it's awfully interesting, and it's really cool because it's Victorian, it's steampunk, and God, I love that stuff. So it's honestly probably one of the most unique ones airing right now, so I definitely recommend checking it out. After that, we have Restaurant to Another World. Now I seriously love it when there's any sort of cooking anime airing, because it's like, yes, something about food, just like Shokugeki no Soma, which is actually announced for a 3rd season, so that's pretty cool. I kind of digress, but they put a lot of detail into the food, so as I always say, make sure to eat before watching this, because you're going to get real hungry. And then you're going to get sad that you don't get that sort of food unless you go to a restaurant right after. So, it's really awesome. Probably one of the best words I could use to describe this anime is wholesome. Like, there's never been, like, a scene in the show yet where it's, like, over dramatized or something really bad happens. Like, it's really good for the heart, honestly. So, if you guys want something that's, like, very, very heartwarming and like really pleasing, but also makes you hungry unless you've already eaten, Restaurant from Another World is really good. I honestly really like it. Some people think it's too simple, but otherwise, I think it's great. So yeah, that's probably one of my favorites, next to Classroom of the Elite. So definitely check that one out. And finally, at the bottom of the list, this isn't tiers, I'm just going in order alphabetically, as I usually do. Okay, I cannot, for goodness sake, I cannot pronounce some of these names. Okay, so T-S-U-R-E-S, or E-Z-E-R-E. Wow. Is there like an English translation? I'm gonna look.
A few moments later.
Okay, so there isn't any translation, unfortunately. But I'm just gonna call it Tsu, TSU, children for short. So one of the greatest things about romance animes is that you can approach them from any sort of demographic angle. So it could be like from college, that's kind of like golden time. You got high school, which is like very, very used. It's like popularized in many ways, because almost every single anime approaches from that angle. But for this one, it's almost like every angle. So you got like high school, you got like a very young age. So the very, very beginning of the synopsis says young love. And I think that's a really good statement to talk about the whole thing. Because it's like people are running into love scenarios that either seem like a trope or it's like something from a movie, and then it shows itself in the anime. It's like, dude, that's not gonna work. And then it doesn't work. And then in some scenarios it actually does, so it's pretty funny. It's probably one of the funniest shows airing right now, along with like Aho Girl and Gamers probably. So yeah, there's a lot of like romance or humorous anime. Of course, if it's humorous, it's easygoing. So it's pretty nice, a pretty nice like melting pot of anime this season, I believe. So that's it for all the currently airing stuff. And for all you people that are dedicated anime watchers are keeping up with leftovers, so to speak, things that air from last season and continue into the next seasonal block, there's Boku no Hero Academia still airing, and Soccer Quest, which I believe ended quite some time ago. But yes, that's about it. So I want to thank you guys so much. Like, this is my 100th upload. It like blows my mind saying that. And also, I just had my last day of college too, so it's crazy, you guys. Like, time flies so much, and I always love saying this. Thank you guys for all the support. Like, it means so much to me, you guys. Like, I don't even care like how much time you watch, or like if you drop a like or comment. Like, it means so much to me, you guys. Like, I've been putting a lot more time into these videos because it's actually a fun hobby, and I plan to invest more in this later because I feel like creating stuff in your spare time is really, really meaningful. Like, it means a lot to me. And then people get to see this expression whenever the heck they want, because it's recorded, so it's cool. So anyway, guys, as I'll say every single time, stay honest. I hope to see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.